Good morning, all y'all. Tenacious Baseball League here with a quick update. I'm going to play a game at some point later on, but at the moment I just wanted to take a moment and update some league standings and statistics and stuff, since this is kind of a proper place to do that. Everybody has 9 games left, all the teams, all 10 teams, so 45 games remaining in the regular season total to play. So that means we've been through 225. So I figured this would be a good chance, like I said, to kind of do a quick update and talk about some things real quick. And then I'm also going to show you what I've done this morning. I took a little time to, if you've been watching our videos, you've seen some of the card pack openings and stuff we've done. I've gone ahead and cataloged some of those things, and so I just want to go through and show you what I've done. So the league standings at this point, Dodgers are they're in pretty good shape. The thing I don't have, I wish I was able to, there's a calculation to do it, and it's just off the top of my head. I think they're probably, their magic number is 5, I'm guessing. They're 4 better than Chicago in the loss column. So I think that probably is correct. If the Dodgers win, if a combination of Dodgers win Cubs losses equals 5, I think things are going to be good for them. So 33. No, it might not quite be right. It might be 9, actually. So anyway. It's 8 or 9, I think, actually, now that I think about it more. Because Dodgers need to get their wins up to either 7 with 6 or 6 with 5. And head-to-head, did the Dodgers play it? Yeah, the Dodgers have beaten the Cubs, so any tie goes to the Dodgers. Because they won the season series 4-2, so that they're currently 4 ahead. If they win 1, 2, 3, 4, that would put them at 36 with 5 to play. And even if Chicago won all of them, it would be 32. So it probably is 5. I guess it's 5. That sounds about right. Because 5 would take them to 37. Chicago would be at 33 if they won all 5. And with 4 left to play. So their magic number is 5, essentially. So that was really a lot more difficult than it should have been. Let's go through. The Dodgers, 32 and 13. Cubs 28 and 17, 4 games back. Cardinals 5 games back. 27 and 18. Cardinals are, it'll depend. They have a tough series against the Dodgers, and I have to decide if I'm going to, how I'm going to pitch the Dodgers series. Probably will go with, probably try to go so that they line up their best starters to go against the 4th place team in that first series. So the Rockies are currently in 4th place, with 8. They're 8 games back. So if you wanted to make an amended one, the Rockies are currently in 4th, and they are 2 games ahead of the Twins and the Rangers. The Rangers actually get a game that the Royals didn't get. I mentioned in a Facebook post that after doing ball score, I realized that I missed an out in that game, and it really did cost the Rangers. So I finished playing the game from the point where it ended, and the Rangers ended up winning in 10 innings, 10-8. It was an 8-8 game in the 9th, and so the Rangers take 2 of 3 from the Royals. And just quickly, well, the Rangers, they went 1-5-1 anyway, so they have the tiebreaker over the Royals if that should come to that. White Sox 13 out, I think. So they're 5 games out of the 4th place, and it's just, they're going to be eliminated soon. Obviously, 9 games out. The Tigers, they are eliminated. The Brewers are eliminated. Let me just double check. The Rockies, have they played both of these teams? Rockies have played the Brewers. Actually, the Brewers would theoretically have a tiebreaker over them, and they have the tiebreaker over Detroit. So, Detroit has eliminated the Brewers. Another winner lost by the Rockies, and they would. Maybe they wouldn't be eliminated because they have to factor in these other teams. So let's hold off on any of that. But it's not looking good for either of those teams. If you're interested in the totals as far as batting and pitching, we have to zoom out a little bit for this. The Rockies still leading in batting average, with the Dodgers second, the Cardinals third. The White Sox are the poorest hitting team, and that doesn't really surprise me. They have gone really cold in recent games. They're at 229 batting average. A 290 on base percentage. They aren't, and so aren't the Brewers. Neither of them are getting on base at a 300 clip. So that's pretty indicative of their problems. They haven't gotten great pitching either, but at least the White Sox. Twins have played pretty well. You can see that the top 5 teams in the standings are all in the top 5 batting columns, just in a little different order. Pitching, if you look, the Rockies are actually the worst in pitching. I have to change the zoom again. Rockies are to 5.12. So the Cardinals are still solidly in front in team ERA. Opponent batting average, yeah, they're at the top of that too. These numbers all pretty much correlate. The opponent on base percentage, nobody's really like standing out. Everything's pretty much. Now, surprisingly, the Rockies have not given up as many home runs as. Well, the White Sox have they're at 50. Rockies at 51. Detroit and Milwaukee are both over 60 home runs given up. So that's interesting. I also meant to mention here team batting. We can go for a look at power. The Cubs at 73. Are they the best slugging? They are. 466 slugging percentage to 462 for the Rockies. So I don't know if anybody really cares about fielding percentage, but the Royals are the best fielding team, and that shouldn't surprise you since they have a predominance of one range guys and also low E guys. So they do a pretty good job. What is this? Opponent stolen bases. Who's giving up the most stolen bases? The Cubs and the Twins both have at 48 apiece. Cardinals and the Royals and the Tigers. Basically it's most likely a function of catcher arm. So let's see who's had the most passed balls. You got the Colorado and the Cubs. So all right, we're gonna go to leaders. We'll go to individual batting leaders. We'll zoom it out here again. Adrian Gonzalez is his average is coming down a little bit, 371. Miguel Cabrera at 346. He's been injured for a couple games. I believe he's back. Mitch Moreland is also injured, 321. Jason Hayward, 314. Starlin Castro, 313. He was in the 320s and now has backed off a bit. Colton Wong, 309. Jose Abreu, 307. Charlie Blackmon, 302. That's all the guys above 300. There's 8 of them. And then you got Matt Carpenter and Jason Rogers from the Cardinals and Brewers that round that out. Chris Bryant leading slugging percentage. Miguel Cabrera on base at a 445 clip. Adrian Gonzalez the most doubles, with Lynn second in Milwaukee and Cabrera third. Actually, they're tied for second. Triples, Colton Wong has 6 of them. Nick Hundley 4. Hundley, Barnes, Davis, and Rosario are tied with 4. Home runs, Chris Bryant still in the lead. There were not a whole lot of home runs in this last couple game days of action, so things have been pretty steady at the top. Bryant, Arenado at 15, Chris Davis, 13. He's been injured. He won't be back for a couple more games either for the Brewers. Anthony Rizzo at 13. JD Martinez also on the shelf. So some of these guys are not picking up much. You got 3 guys at 11. Peterson in LA and Cargo up there in Colorado, and Miguel Montero. The Cubs, Blackman in Colorado also has 10 with Adrian Gonzalez. I guess if you were interested in Triple Crown type things, you got Adrian Gonzalez is the only guy that would even have a sniff of that. RBI-wise, he's leading RBIs, but he is 7 back of Bryant. He's going to have to go on a real tear here with the long ball in order to make up any ground. So Charlie Blackman is 2 ahead of Dexter Fowler. I think Fowler has made up some ground on the stolen base front. Alex Gordon, Miguel Cabrera have been walked the most times. Tied for that at 27. Anthony Gose has struck out 56 times in Detroit. Chris Bryant, 52. So some good totals there. Let's see, anything else? Matt Holliday's been hit the most by pitches. Mike Moustakas and Anthony Rizzo have also been plunked a lot. So, and real quick, pitching leaders. Again, since we're 15 series in, everybody's even. No half games to parse anywhere. Zach Greinke, 1.67 ERA. I told you I didn't know what he was after that complete game shutout, but there you go. He has 7 wins. Kershaw is at 10 wins, but he's got a 1.99 ERA. So you can see LA dominated at least their top 2 pitchers in 2015. They were excellent. Jaime Garcia, Jake Arrieta, Michael Wacha Garcia and Arrieta are both under 3 ERA. Wacha is right just above 3. Chris Sale, Carlos Martinez, he just pitched in the game we played last night. He had 17 strikeouts. He might have that helped him rise into the top 10. So wins, Kershaw, Greinke, Garcia. De La Rosa has 6 for Colorado. He's had a pretty good season so far. He isn't on the ERA chart, but then again, playing at Coors Field, you might not. Strikeout-wise, again, Arrieta at the top with Sale. Clayton Kershaw, 87. Then Lester Greinke, and then Carlos Martinez. Round out the top 6. Then you have, just go out. Lynn Hamels, Nelson, and Santana. Saves Kenley Jansen, 17. Glenn Perkins, they've had a lot of close games up in Minnesota. 13 saves for him. You got Holland at 13. Now, this is a top 10. There really aren't that many closers in the league. I mean, each team has 1, so you're even going to get Milwaukee's K-Rod. He has 3. He hasn't had many opportunities. Opponent home runs, Kyle Kendrick is helping out other batters, grooving them down the middle, and those things are just flying out against him. So 14 for him. Dan Herron and Anibal Sanchez both 13. Kyle Loesch in Milwaukee with 12. And if you like whip, you got 3 guys under a walk or hit per inning pitched. Greinke, Kershaw, and Garcia kind of basically lines up with wins and ERA. So that's that. Let me put this away real quick. So this is what I'm doing for the cards. Oh boy, it's kind of tough to see because of the way that so I have this little journal. I was actually doing some of my games that I was trying to play with my son, who I can't seem to get through a game with him because he kind of we'll say freaks out. So these are the autographs, and I'm not sure. I was going to put something else here. So it's not completely clear to me what the classification of each cards. I'm not new to baseball cards. I've been doing it since I was a kid, but I'm new to really paying attention to what the different cards are about. These cards, I think there's 2 or 3 prospects, although I think they're all, it's weird, they're listed as prospect cards, but let me, so like Monty Harrison is an 80, he's number 83, and I think he's considered I think this is a regular card, as well as Justin Steele. Do I have Justin Steele? Where is he? No. We have Justin Schaefer, but see, he's a number 96, and I already have that. So, just going through these, as you can see, some of these are more rare than others. Morales and Harrison, probably because those two are two of the prospect cards. There's less than 500 of those in print. Justin Steele, he's a prospect, but they printed almost 800 of those. And then these two have $5.99, also $7.99 for Schaefer. So those are a little bit more prolific. I'm tracking. So Chris Ellis finished out at AAA in Atlanta, or Gwinnett, AAA team for Atlanta. So I'm wondering if he will feature at some point this year for them. Of course, AAA can often be a place where guys who they see as maybe not having the stuff that will make it in the majors. Maybe sometimes they get slid into there, and guys like maybe Andrew Morales, who's at AA for St. Louis. I forget what their AA club. Maybe that's Mississippi. I forget. Anyway, usually the better guys they take straight from AA to the majors, and then if they have an extended stretch in the majors where they kind of fall flat on their face, then they send them down to AAA to try and sort of right their ship a bit against guys who are, not quite major league level, but at the higher level than the best prospects. So Schaefer's was a high A ball. Monty Harrison, let's see who had moved. I guess most of these guys are still in their same. I guess Chris Ellis moved from the Angels to Atlanta. In here these are a little more interesting as far as we have 2 guys that are at the major league level. Dalton Pompey, outfielder for the Blue Jays. He's actually in the 2015 card set. He was in the extra players. As far as Stratomatic goes, so that's pretty neat. Aaron Nola is there as well. He's at the parent club. He's probably their best pitcher at the moment. I don't know. It's tough to tell. We'll see what happens this year, but definitely a very good prospect for them. And then they have Luis Ortiz, who is with Milwaukee at their AA club. Then we got Sean Newcomb is in Atlanta at AA. He's 23. This guy I think is interesting. Grant Hockin. He was a second-round pick for Cleveland. He's only 20 years old right now, and he went through Tommy John surgery, and so he's been out for like over a year. But I was reading a story about him. It sounds like he's ready to get going again. So we'll see how he does. But with him being so young, I think there's a chance that he might get through there. So, and then this is how I'm doing the regular base set of cards. I know there's also some things like variations. I don't know what exactly that means, if it's just a different looking card or what, but like Michael Kopech was actually number 10 in the variations, but this is a regular card. Jose Pujols, and so, you can see here, I'm not going to go through all the cards that I have, but I'm just doing them, and there's 100 of them, and so probably the most interesting name out of all of these, aside from maybe who he was traded in the Chris Sale deal, Jorge Soler, who is, he's featured some for the Cubs, and so we'll see how that keeps going from him. I'm going to keep entering things in as we go. So that's where things stand. I've redone my sort of my daily to-do list of games. I'm going to try to get 3 in today. I think I'm going to play Kansas City and Colorado. Because those are 2 teams that are still fighting for a spot. And the other 2 that I'm going to play today are Minnesota and the White Sox, and Texas and LA. And I just think both of those games are less, I don't want to say less meaningful, but Texas is okay. I'm not going to slag them too much. But so anyway, all right, let me just check comments real quick. Not too many, which is cool. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Richard. Your 2016 set is delayed. Street is under construction. Oh. Do I know if it is true? I don't know. I don't know if UPS will not deliver if there's construction on your street. You might want to call your local delivery source or whatever, the local office, and find out if they can. I don't know if there's a way they can hold it back at their distribution point and you can just go pick it up, or I don't know how that works. Baseball demos. Hi all, nice to hear Strat in the background while at work. Yeah, fortunately for me, I get the day off. They've instituted President's Day a couple of years ago that we get off, so that's nice. And Craig, good morning. Buenos dias, etc., etc. I'm going to get going here, so I'll play a game a little later. I'm not sure what time I'm going to get that going, but stay tuned. Hopefully, I'll probably do that last. Would they have a problem with crossing the ditch? Are they delivering it from across the ocean? I don't know. Yeah, you might need to put some, maybe if you put a ramp there, they'll jump it. Hi, Benny. So, yeah, I'm just wrapping this up. This was just a quick update. I'm going to play a game a little later. I think I'm going to get the 2 games I'm going to do offline first done, so that way I can sandwich the playing of the 3rd game in with reporting the other 2. So, see you guys a little later. It won't be too much longer. Maybe it'll be mid-afternoon, and that'll open it up for other broadcasters who want to do some games too this evening. So, and I don't know. Maybe I'll play out the whole day. We'll see. Sometimes I've been getting in that itch to just play them out. So, a drawbridge, yeah, Richard, that'd be great. Drawbridge. I especially like those little bridges that are they kind of like rotate in the middle. I assume the ditch is probably too small to like have this rotating thing like they have in the middle of rivers and stuff, but I mean, you could try. It's worth a shot. All right, well, I'm going to get going. Thanks a lot. Strat on, guys. Hope any of you who have the ability to play during the day here get a chance to play. Otherwise, I'll be back a little later with a game. Strat on.